What's up, guys? I got another little tutorial here to show you. Today we're going to be scraping naps using Scrapebox. If you're familiar with Bright Local and White Spark, a lot of people subscribe to those services to scrape their client's nap to make sure that everything's accurate. In this case, we're going to be using Scrapebox to do pretty much the same thing, and even I would say maybe a better get a better result using Scrapebox. So the most difficult part of this is actually compiling your footprints, and the footprints are going to be what you feed Scrapebox to basically tell it what to look for in Google, and it'll spit back results depending on the footprints that you give it. So I have a little spreadsheet. I'm actually going to be sharing this into the group file, so you'll be able to download this and use this. This is probably the biggest pain in the ass of the whole process. However, if you make really detailed footprints and make them accurate, you'll be able to pretty much scrape anything under the sun for where the business is actually mentioned. So let me get right into the spreadsheet here. The row number 2, you could see I have first word of business and last 7 phone digits. An example of that is, for example, if I'm doing a citation audit for Marketers Center, I'm going to want to put the first name of the business in quotes. So in that case, it's Marketers, and make sure that's all caps, and then the partial phone number in quotes as well. So I'm just going to kind of go down here. Same thing here. First word of the business name and a partial address. Did that here, and it goes on and on. You'll be able to get more into it once you download this spreadsheet, but for now I've already got these footprints all set up. I'm just going to copy them. I wanted to mention that for the last one it says zip code and piece of address. This is something that you might want to avoid if your client is sharing an address with a lot of other different businesses, so you might end up scraping a ton of crap that you don't actually want. So I would use that last one at your own peril. So I'm just going to paste the footprints here into Scrapebox. In this case, I'm using the detailed harvester, and I'm going to go through the connection timeout settings. Make sure you have enable advanced settings and have the harvester down here on the green. Same thing with the proxy manager. For more harvester settings, you might want to have this checked. It says remove failed proxies. That way you're not hitting the same footprint over and over with a failed proxy. So it's going to click OK, start harvesting, have Google selected. I haven't done this with any other search engines. You might fart around with Yahoo or Bing. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but in this case I'm just doing Google. And the important thing to mention is that when we're doing this, we're only going to be finding citations that are actually indexed, and those are really the only ones you actually want to worry about, in my opinion, when you're doing citation audits. Because if it's not indexed, I don't think it's really a big concern changing what the details are. So in this case, we have 921 URLs harvested. And the first thing you'll notice here is I've actually got a lot of results from my own site. So what you can do is remove filter, remove URLs containing www.marketerscenter.com. So I'm just pulling everything from my own site, and then we can remove filter, duplicate URLs, so that 921 dropped down to 194 pretty fast. And then I would just kind of give it a once over just to make sure there's nothing in here that you don't want to remove. Maybe you don't want to see the tumblers, or there's something weird that just appears over and over. In this case, it all looks pretty good to me, I suppose. So I'm just going to export the URL list to the clipboard and throw it into Excel. And from here, what you can do is sort alphabetically, and that'll give you a better look at it. And I got Tumblr, I got Weebly. A lot of these are going to be my backlinks as well as my unstructured citations. They're not necessarily going to be a citation site every time, because remember, we're just looking for stuff like the business name, the phone number, any mentions of that together. So what else we got? Oh, Alpha Graphics. I wanted to pull that out for some reason. I think we shared a zip code, and they had marketers in some of their descriptions. Here's Manta stuff, Super Pages, Localese, Yellow Pages. So it's just a matter of just kind of going through it one by one. But from here, you'll have a really comprehensive list that you can mull through and see what you want to do without having to pay White Spark or Bright Local 30 or 40 bucks a month or whatever they charge now to do pretty much the same thing. Anyway, hope this helps.